is it you get in trouble for something that you didn't even get an opportunity to participate in? Hi everyone, I am LaJoy and I'm back with another episode of Words of Encouragement from Babylon. We are going through the book of Daniel, and today we are on Daniel chapter 2. We'll be reading verses 1 through 12, and I'm reading from the NIV. This is Nebuchadnezzar's dream. In the second year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams. His mind was troubled and he could not sleep. So the king summoned the magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers to tell him what he had dreamed. When they came and stood before the king, he said to them, "I have had a dream that troubles me, and I want to know what it means." Then the astrologers answered the king, "May the king live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will interpret it." The king replied to the astrologers, "This is what I have firmly decided. If you do not tell me what my dream was and interpret it, I will have you cut into pieces and your houses turned into piles of rubble. But if you tell me the dream and explain it, you will receive from me gifts and rewards and great honor. So tell me the dream and interpret it for me." Once more they replied, "Let the king tell his servants the dream and we will interpret it." Then the king answered, "I am certain that you are trying to gain time because you realize that this is what I have firmly decided. If you do not tell me the dream, there is only one penalty for you. You have conspired to tell me misleading and wicked things, hoping the situation will change. So then, tell me the dream, and I will know that you can interpret it for me." The astrologers answered the king, "There is no one on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magicians or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among humans." This made the king so angry and furious that he ordered the execution of all the wise men in Babylon. So, when I read this chapter, I thought to myself, Daniel wasn't there. The king called the magicians and the astrologers and the enchanters, and they could not fulfill what the king wanted done. So he ordered all magicians and prophets killed, which included Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. How is it you get in trouble for something that you didn't even get an opportunity to participate in? How you gonna get punished for something that you didn't even get a chance to prove yourself for? That's what I took away from this passage of scripture. And I have written verse 11 when it says, "What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among the humans." I wrote, go to Matthew 19 and 26. So let's go to Matthew chapter 19. Matthew 19, verse 26. Jesus looked at them and said, "With the man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." And we're going to see as we continue in chapter 2 that man, who was depending on man's ability to answer the king, could not do this. But when you go to Daniel and Daniel seeks the Lord, he will get answers. And that's my encouragement for you today. Even when you're in situations where you're being penalized for something that you didn't do, go to God. because God can provide answers and God can protect you from those who are trying to harm you or blame you for stuff that you didn't do, that you weren't responsible for. This is a situation where you didn't even ask Daniel if he could help. You just assumed because other people couldn't help that Daniel would not be able to help as well. So you're just gonna kill them all. But when you have God on your side, he favors you. He protects you from unjust laws, unjust rules, unjust penalties. But when you're being punished for something that had nothing to do with, it's outside of your control, you're being penalized, and it's not even something that you were even asked to fix, just trust that God is able to redeem and restore you. That's my encouragement word for you today. Be blessed.